girlfriend is spending her 25th birthday with me and I'm 24M, afraid of doing too much. We've been dating for 5 months and have been official for 3. However, it feels a lot longer as we're both crazy about each other and it's turned out to be a very serious relationship. It's honestly been amazing. I've never been this happy before. She's the sweetest, prettiest, smartest and caring girl I ever dated. We have done a lot together already, vacations, weekends away, meeting parents etc., and are spending 2 to 3 full days with each other every week. She's got the key to my place, is moving in with me next summer and we even talked about having kids in the future. She turns 25 on Sunday. She wanted to throw a big party with all her friends and family but that's not possible due to COVID, so she chose to spend the weekend with me. I felt honored and want to make her feel special as it's her 25th birthday, so I went all out and decorated my place, got a cake, a pair of shoes she wanted, a personalized bracelet, roses, champagne and a love card. On top of that I'm cooking her dinner, taking her ice skating and to a private spa. In my head it all panned out so good, but now that the day is approaching I'm thinking whether it's too much. Is she going to be weirded out? She's not expecting much, so now I'm panicking if I overdid it. TL, Dr. GF is spending her 25th birthday with me and I'm freaking out about overdoing it. Should I take it down a notch? The cake, flowers, champagne, card, and gifts are all lovely. Maybe a bit more than I would usually spend on someone I'd only been seeing for a few months, but definitely those are standard birthday things. Cooking her dinner is also very sweet and a lovely surprise. Taking her ice skating is a classic date. I think it's a great idea, especially if she's spending 2 whole days with you. Ice skating is a great activity to get some quality time together that isn't just chilling at home. I would recommend you tell her about the ice skating, though, and talk with her about what day and time she'd like to go. No need to make this part of the surprise. Also, don't buy the tickets yet, just buy them when you get there, or the night before, and after you've discussed it with her. She will love that you took the initiative to research the ice skating. It doesn't need to be a surprise or to be planned out rigidly in advance. It can be on her birthday or the day before. It doesn't really matter. The private spa is the one thing I think is way too much. I would be weirded out if someone I had just started dating did this for me, especially if they also gave me all this other stuff you talked about. Generally, a spa day can be a date if you do it together, but you're already going ice skating. 2 dates in 1 weekend is a lot and might actually be too stressful. Spa days can also be gifts, if you buy someone a gift certificate for the spa. But you already bought her shoes and a bracelet, so that would be too many gifts. So my advice is, keep it to 1 date activity and 1 gift. Ice skating and shoes seems more appropriate to me. Suppose you could do the spa together and give her the shoes, that would also be okay. Keep some of it for Christmas. This all sounds very grand. Will you have time for it all without it being pressured? Amazing that you've put the thought in, and I'm sure she'll love it. You don't need all those elements, like you could skip the skating or the spa. But if she's the kind of girl who likes that big mix of everything at once, then go for it. Check your order of events though. Both spa and skating can be a bit uncomfortable right after dinner. Avoid relaxing spa before high energy skating. Seriously, one of those things would make me happy. All of them, blown away and over the moon. Your love language is obviously being a giver, so go for it, she will love it. Dinner is great, champagne good, rose is good. Depending on how much you spent on the bracelet and shoes, I would choose one or the other and save the one you don't give for her birthday for Christmas. Dates sound like a lot. I mean, you're already going to be spending a couple hours cooking and eating. Maybe let her choose whether she would like to ice skate or go to the spa. You might want to add in a third option, like we will stay in and cuddle and watch your favorite movie, in case she is more of a homebody and would prefer something more low-key. It really does sound like 3 birthdays in 1 day. I'm 28F, ready to end my relationship with my father, 58M, over yet another accusation that I'm a lying hypochondriac. I, 28F, had a surgery about 2 months ago to diagnose endometriosis, a chronic pain condition that affects the reproductive system, and had a lot of diseased tissue removed, and they had even found that scar tissue had glued some of my organs to my abdominal wall. So, I'd classify that as a major surgery. I talked with my dad about the surgery and condition before and thought he understood, even though he could not be there for the surgery or help me recover. Fast forward 1.5 months, and I'm just starting to get my stamina back and my abdominal pain is minimal. I had setbacks when I tried to go back to work after 2 weeks, but now I'm 90% back to normal. Trying to catch up on everything, work, housekeeping, etc. has been rough, but I try to set aside 1 day a week to see my family. Last week, I wore myself out on Sat with a new workout and going shopping with my family, so I missed some dinner. This week, we celebrated my stepmom's birthday a day early since my brother had work today. Since it was Halloween, I made plans with a friend to go to a haunted maze where another patron got scared and accidentally tackled me. Sprained my ankle and wrist, plus bruises and pain in my abdomen near my surgery site. So Sunday, I stayed home to rest and monitor my pain. A call from my dad lecturing me on making excuses to not see the family on Sundays. That I should have been 100% ready to do anything a week after my surgery, since he had been moving boxes and going on 8-hour drives a week after he had a small benign tumor removed. Doc said it shouldn't have been causing pain where it was and it wasn't urgent to remove. Saying I should just say that I don't want to visit rather than coming up with lies about my health. How he's afraid of how I'll end up. Implying I'm just like my hypochondriac mother, who had cancer, Graves' disease, and currently lives with Ms. The fun twist is he's a medical worker. This is an argument I thought we were past. 1. Just proved that I've had a chronic pain condition since I was 10, endo pain documented since then, so I wasn't lying then. 2. I had seen him less than 24 hours before this call about supposedly avoiding family to spend time with friends. I'm almost 30 and tired of the same complaint of laziness when I'm working overtime at my job and trying to optimize my non-working hours for physical recovery and household stuff and my sanity. I'm ready to cut off my relationship with my dad, or at least until he gets some anger management / therapy. This isn't the first time where he's decided to pick a fight out of nowhere. He never mentioned anything about it to the rest of the family. It just happened to be when I'm personally struggling with coming to terms with the idea I have an incurable disorder and trying to piece my life back together. Too long didn't read. Am I overreacting to my dad calling me a liar about my painful surgical recovery by cutting him out of my life? You can fuck right off with this behavior immediately. I watched you do this exact same thing to mom, and I'm certainly not interested in being your new emotional punching bag. For God's sake, get some therapy and work through whatever fucked up shit in your head causes you to lose basic empathy and understanding when it comes to your family members. I'm not setting the bar high here, but you're giving me little choice if you continue with these outbursts. If can't show me some basic decency and respect, I will cut you out for good. You know better, so for once and for all get it together. If you want this to end one way or another, go for the jugular. Your dad sounds a lot like my mother. I have several chronic illnesses, 2 of which are pain related. If my illness inconveniences her in any way, then I am clearly being lazy and probably attention seeking. We don't talk much. This sounds horrible for both your recovery and for your mental health. You need to figure out what is going to be best for you. That may be no contact. But remember also that no contact doesn't have to be a forever decision. You can revisit your feelings periodically to see if no contact is a gift or if you want to try to build something. Only you know how receptive your dad is to boundaries. I admit I am very low contact with my family because I don't feel right with myself cutting them completely off. But it's much easier to be low contact when you live a 7-hour drive away. Things they can't be nice about, we don't have to talk about that. Even putting aside his assholery about your pain and illness, who the fuck guilts someone who is almost 30 about spending time with family? My husband and I live 5 houses down from his parents, and we aren't expected to go over there every week for dinner or anything. And no one in my family calls and pulls that shit, either. If anyone tried pulling that with us, we would just laugh. Sorry, but once you are an adult and busy with life, no one should be acting entitled to your time, family or not. I'd totally just tell him to fuck off at this point. It's not overreacting. Your father is an incurable hole and will jeopardize your mental health by his constant toxicity. Cutting him out is the right course of action. Don't forget to play damage control with the rest of the family. Maybe talk to trusted family members first so that they understand why you will be taking this action. In addition to cutting him out of your life, ask one of your best friends to be your legal healthcare proxy. This is a position where they can make medical decisions on your behalf in case you fall unconscious or something. If you are unmarried, that responsibility would go to your family, possibly even your dad, who would not take your medical issues seriously. It's a fairly simple legal document that can be structured so that the legal power only applies to medical decisions and only in the case of unconsciousness. You can also specify that the power only applies if you are unmarried or your spouse is incapacitated and or unavailable. After the document is created /signed /etc. Make sure to send copies to all your doctors and keep one for yourself and give one to your friend. Raised by narcissists. You know what is best for your health and well-being. You have your own family to raise and real health issues on your plate. He sounds incredibly cruel and lacks empathy, which can be trying on a person. Please do what is best for you without regret. I can only imagine how your mother suffered being married to him, and it's okay to break the cycle if he won't change. An acquaintance, 35F, did me a big favor and keeps inserting herself into my 29F life. Repost with ages. Last year I left my abusive husband, 31M, and my toxic church. An acquaintance in that church heard some of my story from a friend and encouraged me to stay at her home while I was divorcing for my safety. I said no a few times, but she kept pushing, so I changed my answer to a yes. I should have stuck with my answer, but I wasn't very strong then. I stayed with her for 6 months, and although she helped me a lot, it also became clear her boundaries were poor and got really enmeshed in all my life decisions while I lived with her. She started telling me she didn't approve of certain friends and even my own mom and dad. She didn't think they were doing enough to help me. They're not perfect, but they are my support system and they were trying. She helped me find my current job and is related to one of my bosses. When I moved out, she started just showing up at my apartment with agendas to push me a certain direction with friends' choices and how to handle the dynamics of leaving my toxic church. She would tell me people were gossiping about me, favored my ex-husband, and I needed to go back to the church and set the record straight. I didn't want to. I don't care what they think. Eventually I asked her to not show up unannounced, as I like to be a planner. She did stop. I have been trying to let things fade ever since. She still calls sometimes though and is always inviting me over. I don't pick up the phone often. The last time I did, she told me she had been investigating something and had found the name of a woman she thinks my ex cheated on me with. I already knew all about it. I told her I was trying to move on and didn't want to think about it. I haven't mentioned my new relationship to her for almost a year because I know she won't approve of him, even though he is a great guy. I don't want her to investigate him. I think she heard from another friend about it over the weekend, and first thing 7 a.m. this morning I get a message to call her back. I can't decide which is worse, an awkward phone call about it or her doing a drive-by to check up on me if I don't respond. She will be upset if my boyfriend is staying over, he's from out of state, when she comes by, and will probably make him really uncomfortable. She is very conservative. I know this is all super unhealthy, but I can't find a way out. How do I get my privacy back? I don't want to seem ungrateful for her help. I'm afraid she will make things difficult for me at work if I get her mad. Too long didn't read. There's a woman in my life who did me a big favor once. Now she wants to be involved in the details of my life and I don't want to be, and she hasn't gotten the hint. I am trying to distance myself.